We start with this game building a sound identity along with Lara's sort of evolved personality. So we kind of started from scratch for this one and really thought about what is Lara's mindset and how we can bring that forward with the sound.
We knew that this was a personal journey. We knew it was also the jungle, and jungle is a lot about the sounds. And when we started, thinking about this game, it was absolutely important for me specifically as a director. I wanted to create an emotional imprint. And the strongest way to do that is by using music and things that will resonate to the player. So when he was going to think about something and he hears that, he will remember the emotional state that is attached to that scene specifically.
Each sound designer is responsible for basically a whole map. Then we get to look at it and think, how is that going to sound, and be responsible for that and own that. So then you do everything. You do all the ambiences, every sort of interactive sound effects, cinematics even. So then it gives you a lot of creative freedom.
When I first heard about the availability of Dolby Atmos on the console, I was very excited because it's something that I've always thought would be a perfect fit for this Tomb Raider game. Because we've always talked about verticality in this game and exaggerating that sense of vertigo. This idea of a descent into hell almost is one of the core ideas of the story for the character.
It's high, that I could dive.
We're all conditioned to look at it at a 2D image and trick ourselves to believe that it's more than a 2D image. But a lot of times you think it goes this way. But what Atmos and this huge soundscape, it makes it feel like it covers you in a sound blanket. And when it works, it's magical.
When I first heard sounds that we'd placed above the player to playback, and I remember getting people into the studio to hear it, you really felt like you were there in those environments.
Miguel!
When I heard the first time the jungle in Dolby Atmos, I was, wow, that's incredible. Positioning sound objects and having it that's in 7.1, it's flat around you. But now you're in Dolby Atmos, you have it surrounding you. You have an effect of sphere basically. You're in the environment, audio-wise. It's wow.
With the system we have, we can build a jungle just with drag and dropping sound in 10 minutes. If we're just talking about animals in a single zone, we can probably have maybe 300 objects that are playing at the same time. It feels right with a different height in the speakers, with a different distance. And depending on the distance, you have the delay that kicks in, you have the reverb that kicks in as well, and all the other stuff that are underground that will only play on the normal speaker 7.1, and everything will have the depth.
All these environments are very vertical environments. There's a lot of height information that's there in the jungle. All the birds and all that sits in the canopy above the player. With the cenotes, underwater exploration, if there are enemies that are tracking you just above the water surface, you'll hear those filtered but above where you are. So again, you can use that height information to take down your prey in a way. It's actually very valuable for gameplay to have that extra information. It definitely influences the way that we build the levels and we build out the environments, for sure, especially from a sound point of view.
Translation is really great because we mix in a well-calibrated studio, so that helps. We mix in Atmos, and as soon as we try to play our mix in the TV, it was really, really great. We have different options for the dynamic range, the low dynamic range for the low TV speaker. We have the middle for the headphones, and you have the high theater one for Atmos and 7.1 setup and 5.1 setup. Even the Atmos for headphone as well is supported, and everything's still mixed together. You're still hearing the voice correctly. The dynamic range is pretty high, even a headphone, so which is really cool. When we build a world,
Because in video game, that's what you do. You build a world. You don't just build a story, you're building a world. And the more you respect how the world works in terms of logic, physical logic, that's where people get completely immersed and lost in that world. And they believe that they have been transported into that world. So having audio, having the birds, the howling monkeys, in the jungle, hearing all the leaves shuffling around and cracking in behind and one at the top because of the howling monkeys on top, and there's something moving below, it creates a sense that you are there. And that's what this, the Dolby Atmos really brings to the media, where you're feeling that you are this character, that you are Lara Croft. And the audio is key to that. That's what the audio does in this case.